Hi everyone, welcome back to Ultimate IntelliForge Code. I remain Ultimate, and today we are starting something exciting to your journey into web development. Before we even write a single line of code, we need to understand web itself. So in this lesson, I will explain what the web actually is, how it works behind the scene, what HTML, CSS, and JavaScript do, and how to set up your environment to start coding the right way. Let's begin. What's the web? A lot of people doesn't understand these basic terms and other methodology behind web development. This video has been brought to us to help us understand the basics terms and what methodology behind web development. Because to me, web development is not just more of what writing code, programming, and all that. It's more of also understanding the basic concepts behind it. Which will start with what we call web. The web, also known as World Wide Web, often called the web, is a system of connected documents like web pages that are accessed or that we access through the internet. Example of web pages that we access is same thing as google.com, your school portal, and others. All these are example of web pages. But I'd like to pass a question to you. What is the difference between a web pages, and website? Drop your answer in the comment below. Thanks for that. So now, a lot of people mix up the term internet and web. So let's make that clear. The internet is a physical network, cable, satellite, and other data that connects computer around the world. The internet is just a global interconnection of multiple network, that's multiple VLANs, WANs, and computers. But the web is one of the service that run on the internet. It gives you website, video, and app. So how the internet and website works? Let's break it down to what actually happens when you visit a website. Think of it like a restaurant. We have the kitchen, we have waiter, and we have the customer. So now the customer is the browser, the waiter is the API, and the server is the backend. So when you enter a restaurant, the first thing you do is you want to place order. For you to place order, you call the waiter and ask the waiter that get me some meal. Do you guys have it? So the waiter goes to the kitchen and asks the kitchen to prepare the meal. Once the meal is ready, the waiter bring back the mail and give it to you. Same concept works when it comes to the internet. We have our client, which is the browser, we the users this way, and we also have the web browser. So let's assume we want to visit google.com. We type in www.google.com into our browser. But before sending this request directly to the server where Google server is resided, there are some functions that are being done. The first thing is the domain name is being sent to a DNS server. So the DNS server translates this domain name into IP addresses, and the IP addresses is then forwarded back to the web browser. So now the web browser will now send the IP address to the server to locate the Google servers. And don't forget, this communication are being done via HTTP or HTTPS, depending on the kind of connection you establish. So after the server receiving the request, you send back HTML and other files such as your basic web development language, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You send them in plain. When it gets to the web browser compile and translate this language or this code back into a graphical user interface, whereby the user can interact with the web page and feel the user experience. So that's just the basic of how the internet and web works. So let's move on to the next topic. So now we'll be talking about what are HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So a lot of people used to ask me, what are the basic programming language that they need to get started with? That is a question that asks, what are HTML, CSS, and JavaScript? So every website is built on top of these three main technologies: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And when it comes to referring to them, we can refer to HTML in analogy like the skeleton of human body, which structure the human body. So HTML works in the same way; it gives structure to what, to web pages. And CSS, and when it comes to JavaScript, so JavaScript add what, interactivity and movement, such as what, the business logic side, such as, let's say you enter a particular website and a time keep counting without you interacting with the web page. So these are the kind of business logic that are being done by JavaScript also. And you clicking on a particular button, that what, something else happen. They are all what, function of JavaScript. So what adds interactive. So it just works like same the brain works to coordinate the activities of the body. So HTML builds the frame of the house, CSS paints and decorate it, and JavaScript make the door open when we open it, or when we click some kind of button, such as modern house. You just click on a button and the door open. So these are just what, the basic introduction to the basic simple programming language. And from what you can see right now, we have what we have on the right side is just basically using HTML to structure what, Amazon web page without applying any styles or any JavaScript. So that's how it will looks. When it comes to adding CSS to it, you can see what we have now. We have a beautiful layout. Even though you're looking at the site, you are already excited, you can really understand and read what the web page is about. Whereas just looking at only the one designed with HTML is very difficult to understand the message they are trying to pass. So you can't really get what the precise what information you are looking for. But when CSS is added, you have what you need. And you can also see there are a lot of buttons such as the carts, order, and this. So all these are help of JavaScript. When you click on a particular one, it will take you to a particular site. I know I'm just showing you guys pics for now, but don't worry, when we get to the aspects, we will interact more with what, with our web page, not interacting with what already built. So now let's move into what we call developer tool. So now let's move into what we call developer. These are the basic tools that programmers use to inspect web pages. And for those of you, if you are making use of web browser such as Chrome or Firefox, I will even recommend Chrome or Firefox. They have what, the best developer tool. They are built on top of. Now let's move to what we call developer tool. Now one of the coolest thing about web development is that every browser already comes with tools to exploit websites called what, developer tool. You can access them by right clicking any web page and select inspect, or by pressing what, Ctrl Shift I on Window, or Command plus Option plus I on Mac. But right now I'm using Ubuntu, so you guys can make use of what, any of the keys I mentioned earlier. So now let's get started and let's explore what developer tool. So you can see now these are our Chrome. Now for me, I'm using Ctrl Shift I to open my developer tool. So right now we have our Google or our Chrome landing page. So now to inspect the CSS and HTML file, we just click on this icon. He said was select an element in the page to inspect it. You can make sure what, Ctrl Shift C depending, but I prefer what, just select it and avoid what, cramming what, any shortcut. So I will just click on this. Clicking on this now, I can what, inspect any what, part of the page. Let's check it out now. You can see. But before we move to that, so basically what you are seeing in element is just what, your HTML. You can see now we only have what, the HTML what, files here, the code written in what, HTML. And don't worry, very soon we'll get started with HTML. We understand basic tags such as the head, body, and what they are used for. So we have our what, HTML code here. To inspect the style, we have our style here. Here we see the what, the CSS that are being used. So to start the what, the landing page, we have the body. I can also edit a particular what, style here. If I click on font family, you can see now. Now let's inspect. You see this Figma here and HRSS. So if I click now, you notice what, the font family change, because I'm playing with it right now. So that's also one of the advantage of our developer tool. You can use it to inspect your code. If something is wrong with your code, let's assume you are playing around with CSS, so you can just test it out on the developer tool. So yes, let me add padding to it here. So I'll just give it a padding of, let's say, 20 pixels. I think most of you will notice this, but you can see there is a padding now. You understand? So there is a padding within the words, within the inner and the words and the border. So that's just what basically was the function of developer 2. And another thing is what is the console. The console is one of the important aspect of what of this. So when it comes to what interacting with a web application, or let's say running JavaScript, most time we run JavaScript on the console. And sometimes if you are working on JavaScript, if there is an error and you want to see like the source of the error, you have to console log. So anytime you run your web page, the error will be console log in the console. Example is, let's say, console log, then we have our string inside this hello world, then we close it. Then if I click enter, I have hello world showing me undefined. You guys don't have to worry about this, but as long as we see our output, which is what hello world. So console is used to interact with Java, is used to use JavaScript on the web browser. So basically we're running the JavaScript logic. So that's everything about developer 2. So now let's move on to setting up our environment. For those of us that want to set up our environment, so there are different kind of environments, or let's say what text edit IDE, that's integrated development environment you can use. But for me, I make use of what VS Code, because that's one of the top editor used in the industry. But we also have something like, I don't even know, Sublime Text, Notepad, and all that. But I'm familiar with what VS Code. I'll also drop a link. You can check the link below to download what VS Code. So just visit VS Code.com. I think he's not loading. So to make it quick, let's just click on what download what VS Code, Visual Studio Code. So we are getting something else. Download VS Code. So go to the official website, code.visualstudio.com. Depending on your operating system, download for Mac or Linux or Windows. For me, I'm making use of Linux operating system, so I'll just click on what this, and it will show me some command line to install it. You copy this, open your CMD and run it. You can drop comments if you're having issue installing on Linux, so I'll drop a video to guide you through on how to install it on Linux. For others, it is straightforward. Just go to Windows and download the latest. So that's all. But I'll drop a link in the video whereby you guys can download it directly. So thank you very much. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. The next video, I'll be dropping the introduction to what HTML, CSS. That's where we learn the basics of HTML and develop a web page using HTML. Then the next one will be applying CSS. Don't worry, this video will be break down into as basic as possible, so you guys can understand the basics and the concept behind this. And I'll try not to omit anything, but you guys should also get ready to explore and do more research, because learning never ends. And I'm also learning, despite I'll still be learning from you guys, same way you guys are also learning from me. So thank you very much. So now let's set up our environment. So setting up environments varies depending on the kind of integrated development environments you prefer, but for me, I'm making use of Visual Studio Code. That's one of the top and most developers, but I don't know about you guys. Everyone have preferred option. You can use PyCharm or any other IDE you guys prefer. So for now, let's guide us on how to install VS Code. So we go to Chrome. This is our browser. So for those of you, this basically, let's go back to the landing page. So now, depending on your operating system, you can see now I'm making use of Linux. I've already detailed the kind of operating system I'm using, and it has already show me the two type of packages that are available for Linux, whether the Debian or the RPM. So depending on the operating system, if you are making use of Windows, it will show you the options to download Windows directly, and if it is Mac, it will show you the option of Mac directly. So for me, I've already installed mine. So what you just do is you will click on download the DED, that's Debian version. So let's wait for this. So let's click on it again. So basically, I'll be thanks for downloading VS Studio. So you can see we already have what the installation file was downloading. And so most of us that are using what Linux, you will know how to install this using your your sudo apt. Just follow the basic steps. And for Windows, your once it does download it, click on installation, follow the basic steps. It will also guide you through it. So that's just everything about what setting up the environment. So in our next video, I'll be dropping a tutorial on introduction to what HTML, where we will learn the basics and what of HTML. So we will design our first page using HTML only. Then the next one we will advance little by little into CSS and JavaScript. But I don't want to miss any points or any terms of it. So we'll be taking it little by little so we can all understand the basic deeply. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and comment. Thank you guys. Thumbs up.